chair. Good morning. Go ahead and vote on the poll question if you have not done so. What in the world? Got it. Okay. Good morning. It is me, Dr. Donna Thomas-Rodgers. I'm here to teach you how to hold yourself personally accountable using the neural pathways in your brain. Today, we are talking about neuroplasticity. And before we get started, go ahead and inhale and exhale on your own 3 times just to quiet the mind and get it ready to learn some stuff about neuroplasticity. Let's do this. Okay, so we are talking about neuroplasticity, plasticity this morning, and I am having an allergic day here in Las Vegas, so my eyes are itchy and watery. I have done my nasal rinse and taken a allergy pill this morning, so as we progress throughout the live, this process should get a little bit more fluid for myself. Before I get started, I would like to say that for those of you who did not, I told you to leave yesterday. So if you were not here for the end of the live yesterday, Sidekick brought a sidekick with them to the live. And it did go well for the sidekick. That person has been blocked. But the point that I wanted to bring home was that when you allow unaccountable people into your life, they do unaccountable things. So this person was her friend, and they decided to attempt to come and discredit me. Not a good idea. Didn't bode well for them at all. I did give them feedback next time they want to try to come for me to use a better strategy. But the point was, she told that person about me. That person came on the live to discredit me because what I was telling her didn't align with them being able to stay in the friendship together. I told her, that person can't come back. And if you bring any more unaccountable antics to my live, you will be blocked too. So it was a perfect demonstration of what happens. Good morning. What happens when you allow unaccountable people to remain. So I have been told to let the trolls go, kick the trolls out immediately. And yes, sometimes I do that and sometimes I don't. And when I hear from higher power God in the universe, I let it play out. And every time I let it play out, you all get a real time, real life lesson. How many times have you literally talked to people that are unaccountable? I did see the brain shirt link, so I'm going to get to that. I said thank you. Every time you're around an unaccountable person and you let them into your life and then you try to bring them to something that is of value to you, they destroy it. And that's what I told Sidekick. And I told that other person that you're not a friend, you're a frenemy. This person came to you and said, this new concept is important to me. And they came and basically shitted on it. Yes, ma'am. Okay, no, you're being disruptive right now. That's not what I'm talking about. We live in the same house. You could have wrote that down or asked me. We got to go to the same appointment this morning. Okay. As I was saying before my child interrupted me, it's unaccountable. It's 100% unaccountable to bring people over here and then let them run rampant, because I will check them and block you. Before, when I was doing a strategic advising, if the client recommended somebody and that person was not good, they both got fired. So that's how that, because chickens of a feather flock together. That's how that goes. So it was a perfect example of you don't want to hold other people accountable, and now they about to blow your spot up. And they're going to make it so you can't learn how to be personally accountable. So I don't care who you are, to include my own child. If you are being personally unaccountable, you're going to be held personally accountable. And if you don't want to be personally accountable, you're going to leave, because you're not going to disrupt my personal accountability anything. And so Sidekick, that was their one chance. If it happens again, they're gone. Point blank, period. So for those of you who missed it and weren't there, I let it play out. I told y'all to leave. It's going to be recorded. It's recorded. I just need to unlist the link and make it public so you can see that last 5 minutes and how that went down. But you are allowing unaccountable people in your life, and then you're wondering why shit going left. It's because you're allowing unaccountable people to do unaccountable things, and you just want them to stop. They're not. They're not going to stop until you tell them to stop. They're not going to stop until you leave the situation. That's when it's going to actually stop. I just wish they would act right. They're not. If they didn't learn if they did not train their neural pathways to teach themselves how to be personally accountable, they're not going to be personally accountable. I am the only person on earth teaching you how to use your brain so that it can be personally accountable. That's it. And the last thing I will say before I get into neuroplasticity is I did 3 lives yesterday. On Monday, I do 3 lives. My second live on TikTok, I asked a simple question. Has anyone taught you how to use your brain? I've asked you that question before. And what took place was everybody except for Mia said no. So Mia said yes. And I said, who? And she said, my mom, my aunt, and my grandmother. I said, okay. I said, what did they teach you? And she started talking about what they taught her, how to not to stay focused and to not let things upset her and not be emotional and all of that. And I said, okay, that's advice. I said, did they tell you what part of the brain to use in order to do that? And so I gave her examples. Not being emotional means don't let somebody hijack your amygdala, which is located in the temporal lobe. And to stay focused is located in the frontal lobe, the executive function of your brain when you're learning new concepts. And so I kept trying to reiterate that with her, and it just was not clicking for her. She just, what she heard was, your mama and your aunt and your grandmother didn't know what they was talking about. That's not what I said. And she just kept saying, but then they said this and they said this. And I just want to make sure and let everybody here know, no one is teaching you how to use your brain because it didn't come with a manual. So it didn't come with a manual. You don't know how to use it. You don't know how to say, somebody is trying to hijack my amygdala right now. This is not going to work. I'm getting ready to go back to my frontal lobe. And I'm going to stay there so that I can have full use of my entire brain. And I will not let them emotionalize anything that I'm doing. So if you don't know that process, then you're not going to be able to use these resources that exist on my graphic t-shirt. Does that make sense? So in summary, I am going to let whatever unaccountable people, y'all call them trolls, play out if I hear from my higher power to tell me to let that play out. If that's a problem for you, go away, because it's going to happen in your life. And if you're like, I just want to come here and I don't want to deal with that. Okay, cool. Well, where are you going to learn to deal with it? Where will you learn to handle unaccountable people if not here? In real time, where they're not really coming for you, they're coming for me. And I can handle it. So wouldn't it be better for you to see how it plays out real time while your amygdala is not actually being hijacked? And if you find yourself doing like this, now you go, oh, hold up. This is what amygdala hijacking feels like. Oh, this is what happens. This is how I feel when unaccountable people come into my life and do unaccountable things. Let me watch the expert do it so I can then do it too. Calmness. Sometimes you might have to check a motherfucker because that's just how I roll. And you got to match their energy, because this docility thing, well, I'm just going to block them. No. Sometimes they need the dog shit checked out of them and then they go away. And so it's situationally dependent. Sometimes if you just ignore them, they will leave. But sometimes they're looking for a fight. Error and opportunity exist over here. So in the future, when an unaccountable person shows up, you call them a troll, I call them an unaccountable person. I am going to do what I need to do in that situation. And it's not disrupting the learning environment. They chose to disrupt the learning environment. And to tell me that I need to block them, no, I need to check them, hold them accountable, and then block them. Because you can't block the unaccountable people in your life. You have to hold them personally accountable. That's what needs to take place. So are we clear? Unaccountable people come over here doing unaccountable things based upon what they're doing. I'm going to block them, ignore them, or check them, drag them, read them like a nursery rhyme, and then send their ass to Blocksville, USA, International. Okay? Now, with that being said, we're ready to talk about neuroplasticity. Okay, so how does neuroplasticity work? Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change and adapt due to experience. If you have not done so, go ahead and vote for the poll question. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to change and adapt due to experience. So on the lives, I am changing and adapting as things are taking place. In my natural life, I am changing and adapting to things that are taking place. Today is my 462nd day live. I have not done 2 lives exactly the same way in 462 days because every day I take in new information, I adapt, and then I make adjustments for the next day. Okay, neuroplasticity is an umbrella term referring to the brain's ability to change, reorganize, or grow new neural networks. I'm going to say that again so you get it. It's an umbrella term referring to the brain's ability to change, reorganize, or grow new neural networks. If your brain is not wired for personal accountability, you now have the ability to grow a new neural network because of neuroplasticity. That is what my research has led me to. That is why it's so difficult for the 6.8 billion adults to hold themselves personally accountable, because the brain isn't hardwired for personal accountability. And personal accountability is best. It's not pay your bills on time. It's not do no harm. It's actually best. So it is, what is the best way? What is the best way to brush my teeth? What is the best way to floss my teeth? What is the best way to keep my house clean? What is the best way to groom myself? What is the best way to present information to people when I go live? What is the best way? That's personal accountability, and your brain is not wired for best. It is wired for negativity bias, conformity biases, all the biases, and living in a hijacked amygdala state so you can go find some comfort. But best? No. You might get the best alcohol, the best meal, but you're not thinking about best. What is the best way to grow, nurture, and develop my mind? That's not on anybody's to-do list. And it hasn't been, because I guess I'm the person that had to do it, because nobody before me thought to do it. It's not happening, and now it has to happen. So you get to create new neural networks. This can involve functional changes due to brain damage or structural changes due to learning. I will not be talking about damage to the brain. I think I have one part of my notes that briefly talks about strokes, because that's what happens. We talk about cognitive development from K through kindergarten through 5th grade. And then we talk about, oh, you get a new frontal lobe by the time you're 25. And then the rest of the research is about, oh, you get damage to your brain. Here's how we can repair it, or here's how we can't. Nothing's talking about how do you access your best on the brain on a daily basis. So I'm not doing the damage part. It's enough information. You have heard that more times than any of us care to count. So I will be addressing the structural changes due to learning. Today, yes, we'll be focusing on learning. Plasticity refers to the brain's malleability or ability to change. It does not imply that the brain is plastic. So when I say the brain is plastic, I'm really saying it's malleable, it's a muscle, it can move, it can grow. That's what I'm saying. So it's not literally my case is plastic. No. Do I have any? Okay, this case right here is plastic. So I'm not saying that the brain is plastic. That's not what I'm saying. You're like, how big is her desk? She forever grabbing something off of it. Okay. So neural refers to neurons, the nerve cells that are building blocks of the brain and the nervous system. Thus, neuroplasticity allows nerve cells to change, adjust, or grow. And that is the part that is changing, adjusting, and growing. Okay, types of neuroplasticity. So basically, we are changing the nerve cells and the neural pathways in the brain. That's neuroplasticity. So neuroplasticity allows the brain to reorganize pathways, create new connections, and in some cases, create new neurons. So you can reorganize it, which is rewiring it. You can create new connections, and in some cases, you can even create new neurons. So that's what's happening when I say you can create new neural pathways in your brain. There are 2 main types of neuroplasticity. That's functional plasticity, and that's the brain's ability to move functions from a damaged area of the brain to other undamaged areas. And so I've mentioned that in previous lives, where people who have had strokes have been able to rewire and wire new neural pathways so that the part of the brain that was impacted by the stroke is now no longer impacted, and they can start going back to as much normalcy as they possibly can based upon what happened during the stroke. So that's functional plasticity. Structural plasticity is what we're talking about today, and it's the brain's ability to change its physical structure as a result of learning. Okay? So the brain's ability to change its physical structure as a result of learning, that's structural plasticity, and that is what we are talking about. So, how does neuroplasticity works? Okay, the first few years of a child's life, and all of this information is new. Initially, we thought this is what you get what you get, and that's it, and nothing is changing. But more research is how we have the information that I'm presenting to you today, and it is coming from, oh my goodness, I didn't write it. Where is it coming from? It'll come back to me in a minute because it's the same website I use all the doggone time. The first few years of a child's life are a time of rapid brain growth. At birth, every neuron in the cerebral cortex, which we talked about, is the crinkly part that covers the brain. At birth, every neuron is estimated at 2,500 synapses, or small gaps between the neurons where the nerve's impulses are relayed. So it's the synapses, it's these little neurons. So you got about 2,500 of those. By the time the child is age 3, the number has grown to a whopping 15,000 synapses per neuron. So it's a lot. That's why when you take your child, your infant to the doctor, the pediatrician, we're always looking at, okay, yes, the baby's head, this is the head size. These are the things that they should be able to do by these ages. And so by 3, everybody is focused on that brain development. And then, however, the average adult only has about half the number of synapses by the time they become an adult. So you're sitting at 15,000 per neurons, and then it just depletes. Why is that? Why is that occurring? Glad you asked. Because as we gain new experiences, some connections are strengthened. Very well mined. That's what it is. That's the website. Because as we gain new experiences, some of the connections are strengthened while others are eliminated. This process is known as synaptic pruning. So the more experiences that you have, you're going to get more in that area, and then other ones are going to be depleted. So neurons that are used frequently get stronger connections, and those that are rarely or never used eventually die. That's what happens. So part of that, if you think about this, when we go back, spell what, please? Synaptic or synapsis? Or neuroplasticity? Which word do you need me to spell? Okay, so neuroplasticity is Neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity. And synapsis is Synapses. Synapses. And my eye is really, and synaptic pruning is Synaptic. So it is synaptic pruning. And those are the ones that are never, rarely, or ever used eventually die. So by developing new connections and pruning away weak ones, the brain can adapt to the changing environment. So most of us who don't care about Shakespeare don't remember anything about it. We're like, I don't need that. But you have created new synapses and neural pathways to do your job. So what happens is all that stuff that you learned in school, you're not using. And so you don't remember it. If you do, it's dormant, and then you got to wake it back up. That's why when we're doing riddles and anagrams and things of that nature, it doesn't bode well, because you got to go all the way back. It's like hibernate. It's like, what? Oh, you want to do some addition? You want to do some math? Here we go. Got it. Roger that. So it goes away, and then you have to revive it. But the good news is, as I mentioned, and people will say, oh, no, you got a fixed mindset. You get what you get. And then I say, okay, well, why is it that you could learn something in the 12th grade that you didn't learn in kindergarten? If you just get what you get, how can you go from doing 1 times 2 all the way to calculus? If what you're saying is you can't change the neurons in your brain, how do you end up learning more? So that's not actually true. So when someone sits down and say, this is who I am, and this is what I have, and I ain't changing for nobody, and all, you just say you want to atrophy the brain, and say you want the brain to be fixed, but it doesn't have to remain fixed. Okay, So, what are the benefits of neuroplasticity? Allowing the brain to adapt and change helps promote the following things: the ability to learn new things. I am saying you were not hardwired and you were not taught to be personally accountable, but you can learn how to do it. Again, I have been for 2 years. I was like, why do people keep dropping out? Why can't people make it past 90 days? What's up with that? And because I went live every single day, it came to me, it's neurological. Got it. So let's start looking at the brain so I can start giving you the ability to use your brain to learn how to use it so you can learn how to hold yourself personally accountable. Because if you don't, the root cause analysis process from Frito-Lay says ask why 5 times. And when you get all the way down, you should, if you make it to your fifth why, was a real big problem. Most of the time you got your answer between the third and fourth why. And now I understand it's neurological, hence the brain t-shirts, hence Nola's comment, because she is, let me qualify this, she is supporting me and getting new brain t-shirts. This is just not the time to have that conversation. So she sent me a link last night. I got it. I responded to her in text, and that's what that follow-up message was. But I'm in the middle of teaching, so wrong time. So we're teaching her context and when to communicate effectively. That's what that was about. And so if anybody did that, they would have all gotten that response, because it's disruptive to what I'm saying, and it caused me to lose my train of thought. So anyway, hence the brain t-shirts. And now with me telling you, and I have to get a plastic brain so I can start opening it up so you can start seeing it and truly understanding what's taking place. Because I feel like this sideways is not going to work. If I could hold it 3-dimensionally, then you would understand even more what I was talking about. So getting back to the benefits of neuroplasticity, allowing the brain to adapt and change helps promote the ability to learn new things. And apologizing when you are wrong is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Apology accepted. So see, when you have someone that is personally accountable and you are in a relationship with them, that exchange goes that way. We will move on with our day and continue to do what we were doing. So that's part of the benefit, the reason why she's on the live, because people can say, well, my child is using it, well, my spouse is using it, and y'all can see it is happening. So I'm not lying. Establish trust and be trustworthy is also one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Okay, now, so it's the ability to learn new things. It's the ability to learn new things. And if you don't want to learn new things, just say it. Just say it. Don't say, well, this is the way I am. Just really be honest and say, I don't feel like learning. I don't like learning. I'm cool. I'm happy in my comfort zone. And take your ass back to Loserville. But don't come over here watching because you like the oxytocin that you're getting, because this is positive, and then take what I'm saying and go let it ferment over there in toxic ass Loserville. No, don't stay over there. Don't try to go back. Yes, it is with her ADHD. When I remember you had this shirt on, it reminded me. Right, and that's what I said. I got it. Okay. So the second one is the ability to enhance existing cognitive capabilities. So it's enhancing your cognitive capabilities, and we talked about cognitive fitness earlier, and now we're doing cognitive activities every single day. So that's what is another benefit of it. Another one is recovering from strokes and traumatic brain injuries. The reason why I mentioned that is because I've said that before on previous lives, but that is what it has the ability to do. Good morning. And let that be the only thing that you type, short brigade, because I'm teaching right now and I'm not going to lose my train of thought. So you can say good morning and take notes. You type something else, we're going to have a problem. Strengthening the areas of future functions are lost or declined. So basically it strengthens it. So if you think about math in the 5th grade, you haven't used it. We used to write checks. We don't write checks anymore. Just pay everything online. A couple people still write checks, but not a lot of people. So if you have to go back to doing that, you can use neuroplasticity to be able to get back to those things that you learned when you were in elementary school. Now, improvement that can boost your brain functions as well. And so we do the rhymes, we do the anagrams, and all of that to improve your brain functions. Now, what are the characteristics? So let me reiterate that again. The benefits: you're going to learn new things. It's going to enhance existing cognitive capabilities. It will help you recover from strokes and traumatic brain injuries, not to the full capacity, because when something is damaged, it's damaged. It will also strengthen areas where function is lost or has declined, and it will improve and boost your brain functions. Now, what are the characteristics of neuroplasticity? Age and environment play a role. So plasticity occurs throughout your lifetime. It's not something that, again, we just focus on it in elementary school and then we don't pick it up again until it's damaged. Craziest thing I ever heard of in my entire life. Like, you good, that we don't talk about it. Like I said on my live yesterday, there is no Brain 101 class. We got 4 years of English in American education system and not one semester of Brain 101. This thing that you have to use for the rest of your life. This thing that started over at 13, finally finishes by age 25, and now you have to use it for the rest of your life, and you don't get one semester in Brain 101. Not one. Not one. You might do a little bit in biology. Here go the brain, here go the frontal lobes and all of that. Here go the lobes and the hemisphere, right hemisphere, left brain, right brain, bada boom, bada bing. Lesson over. But use it and use it well. And you're tasking it and asking so much of it. Never came with an owner's manual, never taught you how to use it, but you're supposed to be high functioning. And that's why there's so much mental stress and, oh, I need a mental health day, because everything is right here in this damn temporal lobe, stressing the hell out of your brain with your nervous system. Your amygdala is overworked. Talk about something that needs a doggone vacation. Your amygdala needs a vacation with all this all day long. Your amygdala is like, I'm taking it, tap out. Somebody else. This is not what I was meant to do. I'm supposed to be looking for saber-toothed tigers, and y'all got me scared because your team lost. You got me scared because the thing that you went to go get from IKEA ain't on the shelf. What the fuck? I'm tired. Go use the rest of this motherfucker. Stop making me do everything. I'm shaped like an almond. Go, go use the frontal lobe. I'm over here stressed the hell out. Stop. But there is no class for it. There's not one, unless you go into the medical field. You ain't gonna learn about it, and you're damn sure not gonna learn about it for K through 12. It's not. So you got to do something on you got to empower yourself to learn how to use this bad boy so you can use the entire thing. Imagine if you got a whole home gym at your house and you just keep using the crunch machine. That's it. You just keep doing crunches. You ain't doing nothing else. You got this, everything else all flabby. You ain't got no cardiovascular or nothing, but you're going to do some crunches every single day and inspect your stomach to hold everything up. Your core is strong, but you need the rest of your body to be strong as well. So plasticity occurs throughout your lifetime. It occurs throughout your lifetime. So if you stupid, by the time you die, that shit's on you. If you ain't learned nothing new past 12th grade in high school, that's on you. 100%. Don't be blaming your parents. You're fucking 50 years old. Well, my parents didn't teach me. Excuse me, what? Absolutely not. Now, certain changes are more predominant in specific ages. So again, everybody's focused on K through 12, 0 through 5, and all of that. And then you just ODFing, out there flapping. By the time you graduate from high school, if you go to college, people kind of care. If you don't, they just like, how much money you make? You got a house and a car yet? When you getting married? When you gonna give me some grandbabies? And that's it. And then it's retirement. Unless you get a promotion at work, ain't nobody checking for you. They're not checking for your brain. They ain't checking for nothing. They're just like, hope it all works out. Let me know when a life event happens. We'll be there. Send us an invite. And so you're just ODFing, out there flapping, because everybody has said, you grown now. You grown now. You go, what the fuck that got to do with anything? You grown, so all of a sudden, you can't, if somebody 22 and you 50, you can't tell a 22-year-old what to do because they grown now. They are a 4-year-old adult. What they supposed to know? You would, if you look at a 4-year-old, you're like, this is what a 4-year-old should know. But a 22-year-old, which is nothing but a 4-year-old adult, is supposed to have all this worldly information. Where? Where did it come from? They don't have no classes, adult classes for 25-year-olds. They don't have adult classes for 35-year-olds. You get your frontal lobe, ain't a class. There's no class once you get your, okay, and now that you have your you got child parenting classes and everything else, but you don't have frontal lobe development classes. How you're fully functioning, got it. Now what do I do with it? I got it. How do I use it? Oh, you just use it. But yeah, but how? You told me I had to wait until I'm 25 to use this thing. What do I do with it? Just use it. That's it. That's all the classes that you're going to get. So no, it's lifelong learning. Okay, the next thing is the brain tends to change a great deal during the early years of life. As I mentioned, young brains tend to be more sensitive and responsive to experiences than much older brains. So young people, that's why older people are like, oh, I remember when I was your age and now you don't want to do anything. Well, why is that? Why is it that a young person is willing to be adventurous and try new things? I'm glad you asked, because the amygdala is not warning them of all the shit that could go wrong. But by the time that you have a bad experience and you try to go do it again, the amygdala said, you did that once and that shit went left. Don't do that again. And that keeps happening. So by the time you get my age, not me, but by the time you get 51, you will live in this safe ass existence. And I call it zip code-itis, because your ass is just going to stay in your zip code for the rest of your damn life. And you're going to die in your zip code. You just going to stay right here. And I'm not saying a physical zip code, but I'm saying a mental zip code. So no. I'm not going to do that. No. I like it just like this. I like it just like this. I like it just like this. And then now you need everybody to come over to the house to show you how to use the TV, your phone, open the blinds, close the blinds, and everything else under the sun. Make your doctor's appointments because you got zip code-itis. You just want to stay in your nice little zip code in your comfort zone, because that's where your amygdala's like, yep, we don't have to seek safety and we don't have to know anything because we got everything just nice and safe, just like we like it. It's just rudimentary. It's just routine, and we like it just like that. Don't touch my TV. Don't touch my thermostat. Don't do nothing. I don't want nothing new because I know where everything is. And then you go to the doctor and get the report. Early onset dementia or Alzheimer's, old timers, whatever you want to call it. You try to lift your damn arm up and you can't because you've been sitting. So what you do, you get one of them nice recliners that lift your big ass up. So then now you're getting a walker and all of that because you lived in that safe, comfortable ass existence. Yeah. All right. Genetics has a little bit to do with it. And then the environment. And most importantly, the environment you're in plays a role in shaping the brain. The environment that you're in. So take a moment, ladies and gentlemen, and look at your environment. Look to the left, look to the right, look behind you, and look in front of you. Your environment is impacting your neuroplasticity. Your environment. Look at them. Or be happy. Everything that you in is impacting. So sidekick brought a sidekick and fucked up and found out. That's not what you do over here. You better leave. I'm done with the friend. Okay, be done with the friend. But you bring another unaccountable person and I'm going to be done with you because you're not about to be putting that energy in this doggone galaxy over here. That dog don't hunt at all. Everybody, you exit stage left. You got to get the hell out of here. So your environment is impacting your neuroplasticity. Your environment. Go ahead and look through your contacts. Look through your email contacts. Look who you following on social media. And look what you're watching and consuming, and the music and everything else is impacting your neuroplasticity, your ability to learn and discern and grow and use your frontal lobe. Is it giving you dopamine and serotonin and endorphin boost, or is it giving you oxytocin and love hormone so you can keep growing and keep going? Which one is it doing? Which one is it doing? Your environment. Didn't think it mattered. Did anybody tell you that when you was in Brain 101? Oh, wait, you don't have Brain 101. So did anybody say, well, it's a toxic environment? I just put a post up the other day. Okay, so if everybody is in a toxic environment and you're there too, what does that make you? They so toxic over there. Why you keep going back over there then? It's just so toxic. Hey, girl, how you doing? Yeah, man, let's go smoke some cigars. We out here on the golf course. Yeah, we're going to do this. Yeah, we in the office. I can't stand them toxic motherfuckers. Why you keep going over there? Why you keep going over there then? There's something about it. You must like the stench. You must like it. My grandfather used to say you lay down with dogs, you're going to get up with fleas. You can't go in the pig pen and expect not to come out with some mud on you. Okay? Why you going over there? And then gonna talk about him. Now you ain't even a good friend. You a backstabbing motherfucker. Two-faced ass. Gonna go talk about him. Say it to their face. Say it to their face or shut up and stay over there. You can't get to do both. Yeah, well, I'm over here doing my. You just as toxic as they are. I'm about to do a 1 degree, either video or blog. 1%, 1 degree. I think it's going, and you probably have already seen somebody do it. I'm gonna put a real leader spin on it. So water boils at 212 degrees. At 211 degrees, it's just sitting there. It's just hot water. It takes it to be 212 degrees. Here in America, 32 degrees is freezing. 33 ain't. That's how it goes. That 1 degree makes a difference. So if you are 99% personally accountable and 1% unaccountable, you are unaccountable. because the water ain't boiling, you ain't freezing or thawing at that one damn degree. That 1% makes all the difference in the world. So, no, you cannot have one unaccountable person in your life and be personally accountable. You can't accept it. Now, I understand I worked at Frito-Lay, didn't have control over a lot, but the things that I own, controlled, and influenced, personally accountable. That's why I fired 4 people twice, and at one point needed the cops to escort me to my car because they told me they was going to kill me. Okay, bet, but you're not going to be at this motherfucker. You might try on the streets, and watch out, air an opportunity, but you won't be here. I tell you where you ain't, where the crime ain't gonna happen. Right here. Not gonna happen here. Take your behind on to another part of Birmingham, Alabama, but it's not gonna happen here. So my point is, your environment is impacting your ability to learn what I'm talking about. So don't come over here and sidekick nose and the other person who is now blocked and will never be able to come back here again asking about my credentials, talking about my beliefs. That's, you entitled to believe what you believe. Motherfucker, this ain't no belief. This is proven. You're talking about a belief. This ain't no, well, I believe that. No, it's saying, I believe that. Since you ain't did your research. Coming over here because you watch one video all willy-nilly. You better ask somebody. You better fucking Google me. Anyway, the point is, it's the environment. It is your environment. So if you find that you cannot hold yourself personally accountable and you can't learn how to hold yourself personally accountable, you need to check your environment. Because your environment is fixed and it's not allowing you to change and grow. So somebody got to go. All right. Now, neuroplasticity is an ongoing process. So plasticity is ongoing throughout your life, and it involves brain cells and other neural, glio, and vascular cells. Okay? It can occur as a result of learning, experience, and memory formation. Learning, experience, and memory formation. That's how it occurs. It is ongoing. So I'm going to say that again. It can occur from learning, experience, and memory formation. That's how it happens. So remember, working memory. Working memory is what you use every single day to navigate throughout your day, planning, priorities of work, task completion, problem solving. All of that occurs in the executive function of your brain, which is the frontal lobe. That's where the magic happens. And so you are molding your brain. You get to think about the what is it, the class where you play with the clay? I can't think of the name of it. But when you're in the class, somebody help me out. I'm having a brain cramp this morning. And so you get to mold your brain into whatever it is that you want it to be. You have the ability to do that 100%. And new research has revealed that the brain never stops changing in response to learning. So you can always learn. You always have the ability to learn. So it doesn't stop because the school system stopped. It doesn't stop because you graduated. I have a Dr. Donna quote, pottery. Thank you, Kevin. I have a Dr. Donna quote that says, the problem is you put your thinking cap on the shelf with your diploma. You put your thinking cap on the shelf with your diploma, and now you think you ain't got to think no more. That's the problem. You ain't got to learn nothing else. I'm finished with school. My uncle and aunt, my mother's youngest brother and his wife, they both have 1 degree. They said they hated school and they was never going back to school again. And that's why it took their son 10 years to get 1 bachelor's degree, because they hated school and they didn't make it a priority for him. So it took him 10 years to get 1 damn degree, and he never took a break. He had Bell's palsy for like a semester, and they just couldn't get them 124, 121, whatever credits it is. It just couldn't happen because they decided that it was 7. Okay, it felt like 10. All right. 7 years to get 1 degree. And it was a regular degree. It wasn't engineering. It was regular. He started out at one school, went to JUCO, went back to another school, and there you have it. So he started out at Michigan State, went to Lansing Community College, and then graduated from Western 7 years later. And funding was not an issue because they have money to pay for him to go to school. So new research has revealed that the brain never stops changing in response to learning. So it never stops changing in response to learning. Never stops changing. And so I don't have this as a poll question, but I'm going to ask the people that are here now, and I guarantee somebody's going to fall off after this question. Do you believe learning is necessary in your life? Told you. Do you believe learning is necessary? in your day-to-day life? Yes or no? And good morning, Driscoll and Brian, Lola. Yes, it is. It is 100%. Always be learning. And my daughter is on here and she will tell you that she loves learning. She just didn't like school because of her ADHD and ADD. She couldn't sit in the classes. Graduated from high school a year early, honors grad, and all of that. So learning, the beauty, the one thing that I liked about, by the time I got to high school, I went to a CTA, it was college prep. So I got to pick my teachers, my classes, my major, and all of that. So from 14 on, I have been able to pick what I want to learn. It's just was fortunate that way. So sometimes, you got to take them dumbass 2 years worth of general studies in college, but I still got to pick which one of them damn things that I was going to learn. So when you get to pick what you want to learn, it becomes exciting. It becomes rewarding. So you don't have to just learn the things that are going to get you a degree or a diploma or a job. I mean, I refer to Frito-Lay often and things I learned in the military, and there are people that work at Frito-Lay right now. I guarantee you I remembered more and learned more, and they've been there the entire time because they're there for a different reason. But I'm interested in, how did this thing come to be? It wasn't a company and it was a company. And how does it function? And how do you have 55,000 employees all together producing these salty snacks, turning raw materials into finished good and selling it in the marketplace? How did that come to be? So I know how that happens. And every training, everything, I'm going, I want to learn it. I want to learn it. And now I've been gone in June 15 years, but I still have all of the skill sets and the information. So if I'm somewhere, I'm going to learn everything about it. And then if nothing else is left to learn, I'm out. And I'm going to move on to something else. That's how come I ended up with so many certifications and everything, because now I know how that functions. I'm a distinguished Toastmaster. I don't have to go back to Toastmasters. I chartered 2 clubs. I had a couple extra CCs, but now they call them level 1s. And now I can tell people, hey, this is the type of club you need to go to. Here's what you need to do. It's an international organization, communication and leadership. It's a great organization. I've just outgrown it, but I still believe that it has value for people. I highly recommend it. I recommend the military for certain people. I recommend corporate America for certain people, especially if you're going to become a business owner, because you need to understand big business, small business units, and everything else. So it is a viable option. But I learned it, mastered it, award winning at it, and then I moved on. Be the best and move on. Be the best. Be the best. Be the best. That's the principle of real leadership. And you have to learn how to be the best. And we talked about a beginner's brain. Me learning about the brain is beginner's brain for me. And so you always need to be a novice at something. That's called the beginner's brain. That's where the learning takes place. And the reason why you do that, because the learning happens in the frontal lobe. Once you learn how to do something, people that know how to drive, you know how to drive. When you get up, make up your bed, you're not saying, okay, how do I make up my bed? If you know how to cook, you already know how to cook. So that's part of your long-term working memory. Long-term memory is in the cerebral cortex, but you need new information in to improve your working memory. So you need to be learning something every single day. Every single day you need to be learning something. And if you don't, by 35, that working memory is going to start to deteriorate. And by 65, it's going to deteriorate. And you're going to be passing out butterscotch and waiting for somebody to come to the house to carry you to the damn doctor. And that's it. And take you to the Piggly Wiggly or the Albertsons or something. Everything when you get older has a "the" in front of it. Where are we going? We going to the Home Depot. Although Home Depot is we going to the Lowe's. We going to the store. I got to go to the doctor. They're going to carry me to the farmer's market. I don't know where. I think by 60, you just throw the in front of there. It just happens. Notice that. And for those of you who are over 60, see if you don't put a "the" in front of it. Okay. So, yes, learning environments, it plays, it encourages you to enrich your environment. So learning environments that offer plenty of opportunities for focused attention, novelty, and challenge. This is how you improve. What's genius, Driscoll? How you improve your neuroplasticity. Isn't it great that you can actually improve it? Isn't that cool that you can actually improve it? So steps you can take to help encourage your brain to adapt and change at any age. Enrich your environment. So your learning environment, so create a learning environment that has plenty to offer for opportunities focusing on your attention, novelty, and challenge. That's why I crack jokes, because it shouldn't have to be that serious. Okay, I have my degrees are in some boring ass topics, and I've had to teach corporate training materials, and that stuff is dry as burnt toast. So how do you make it engaging and learning? You sit here for an hour or so and you talked and learned about the brain, and it isn't okay. So this is the frontal lobe. This is the Broca area. This is your temporal lobe. This is your cerebellum. This is your parietal lobe. What questions do you have? And this is your occipital lobe. This is where your seeing comes from your eyes. It's right here. It's right there. I would lose y'all in the first 5 minutes, maybe the first 3 minutes. So it can be novel. It can be entertaining. Have fun is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So learning can be exciting because it makes you want to do it again. The brain is like, yeah, hell yeah, let's go back. That was good. I want some more of that. Yum, yum, yummy, yummy to my brain. Okay, so also stimulating your brain. Again, how do you improve your neuroplasticity, enrich your environment, create a learning environment? Number 2 is stimulating your brain. So here are some ways. Take the notes if you haven't been taking notes. But if you haven't, here is how you can stimulate your brain. You can learn a new language. And I have used several of the language apps over the years, and Duolingo has been my go-to app. I have a 3,000 some odd 60 days something streak on Duolingo. My Duolingo notebook is back there. But it's 3,059, 61, somewhere around their day. So learning a new language. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Nicht sehr so good. Habla español? Parlez-vous français? You can do that, okay? Learn a new language. And it's really, the app has advanced immensely in the time that I was on it. And yes, I highly recommend it, or any. Just follow somebody on YouTube and learn a foreign language. The next one is learn how to play an instrument. I used to play instruments when I was in elementary school. I played the clarinet and the violin because that's the instrument that you pick when you grow growing up in the hood. I think I'll take the clarinet and I'll have the violin, not the viola. I want the violin. Yes, no drums for me. I wouldn't dare play a saxophone or a trumpet. I want to play the clarinet and the violin. Give me that fiddle. So yeah, those were 2 instruments that I learned how to play. Nicht sehr so gut, but I played them. I was not first or second chair, somewhere in the back, but I did make it all the way to city band, and so I got to play in one big band major event before I left elementary school. Traveling to new places, and it doesn't mean that you have to get on a plane. You could stay where you are and go to a different part of your state. I mentioned my daughter and I traveled a different part of Red Rock Mountain, and I thought I was in a cross between Tennessee, Alabama, and St. Roberts, Missouri. I was like, whoa, okay, this is interesting. So if you live in a state that's as diversified, if you think about it, we live in Las Vegas, and if you go to Reno, it snows. Reno is like living in a Midwest city. It has all 4 seasons and everything. We not getting no snow down here. We look at it. It's on the mountains. If it snows in the morning, it's melted by the day. But it's all in the same state. So Nevada is diverse enough where you literally can travel from city to city and feel like you're in a whole nother different place. So travel and take full advantage. The good thing about living here too is they're always building something. So we've gone to the Pinball Hall of Fame. They have Area 15, always throwing something up. A hotel is always doing something new. So we haven't traveled outside of the state, but technically we have. All right, creating art. I create my own content every single day. And you couldn't have told me 15 years ago that I would be using a smartphone. I would be recording videos and doing all of this because I had my BlackBerry, and I was like, I'm going to the grave with this doggone thing. I wish I would get rid of my BlackBerry, and the thing fell in the toilet. So God will do what you can't do for yourself. So creating art, reading is fundamental. That is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Read 15 minutes or more of nonfiction every single day. The next one is learning new skills. Again, 15 years ago, all of the skills that I have now, taking a small business from a startup and turning it into something grand, working with nonprofits, teaching people how to do business in other countries, other continents. I know how to do none of that stuff. I knew how to take finished goods, turn it into raw materials, and sell it in the marketplace, and keep soldiers and people alive and be safe. Everything that you see today is from me being self-taught in the last 15 years. We're about to be 15 in June, so 14 and a half. So learning new skills, taking risk, that's daily. Take a risk, because what happens is the more risk you take, the less fear you take in. The more risk you take, the less fear you take in. So you keep your ass out of the temporal lobe. It's red on my shirt for a reason. Do not enter, okay? Stop entering here on purpose. Stay over here. And when you're taking risks, guess what you got to do? Be present. You got to be 100% present, because this is something that you've never done before. You have to challenge yourself. Again, that's working up here. Now, the frontal lobe, everything interacts with other parts of the brain, but these are the focal points of where it actually starts to take place. So challenging yourself, setting and maintaining high standards. Again, up here, if you are maintaining high standards, you got to have a high stimulation for that. So you can't be over here crying and complaining in your amygdala if you up here setting and maintaining high standards. And then improving your current skills. So as I mentioned, I have 5 different communication certifications, Toastmasters International, some from Frito-Lay and some from the Army as well. And so being able to communicate effectively, which is one of the 74 principles of real leadership, is something that I can do. Some of it is natural talent. I come from a talented family, so some of it came here this way, but the finessing of it. Leon Lato taught me how to pause. So there are times when, to the point where people think I've frozen. That's something. And the slowing down, the vocal variety, and all of those things I learned as I became a distinguished Toastmaster, because that's not something that when I was a CIMT. Okay, Brian, I'm going to address that in 1 second. So because I was a CIMT, which is a continuous improvement master trainer and a performance-based trainer and a Move Smart trainer at Frito-Lay, they kind of just told you about the training. I'm the one who added it and put a little bit more bam on it. So Brian, while the reason why, let me tell you the disclaimer for that. So thank you for your service came from when people came back, and I'm not about to get into politics about Vietnam. You start talking about that shit, you getting blocked. I'm explaining to Brian why I don't want to hear thank you for your service. So thank you for your service came because when people came back from Vietnam, people were spitting on them and they did not receive a warm welcome. And so that's where thank you for your service came from, because of the Agent Orange, the sacrifice that they made. People came back missing limbs. It still happens. But it was terrible over there for them. And when they came back, America was pissed. And so they did not get a very welcoming homecoming. So that is where thank you for your service came from. Now, we had Desert Storm. We've had plenty of conflicts since then. And so my experience, I was a military police officer. Okay. And so I have pictures, battle rattle, full everything. I have nerve damage in my hand from air assault school. I have damaged shoulders and damaged knees, got a little PTSD going on, ringing in the ear. So it's not service, it's sacrifice. So service is when you go to the restaurant and you get people to come and give you your food. My daughter has a service business. We're going to go and put some garage shelves in a garage today, and we're going to go build a dresser. But the sacrifice, I literally got out of the military in April of 2001. And if I hear we're at appointment and I hear too many jets, we were at appointment in North Las Vegas by the Air Force Base. I hear too many jets coming. It's going to trigger my PTSD because I lived on a Republic of Korea Air Force Base next to a nuclear biochemical chamber, and I had non-potable water. So thank you for your service works for some veterans who didn't really do a lot or they don't care. But going forward, you can say, well, how was your time there? You can ask questions, but the thank you for your service is almost like when you leave the grocery store and they say thank you and hand you your receipt. So going forward, I've never met somebody that when you say thank you for your sacrifice, they don't say, that shit wasn't no sacrifice. Don't be saying that shit to me. Some people are okay with it. I'm not that person because it's been 23, about to be 24 years, and I'm still recovering from that 5.5 years that I was in the military. Okay, so improving your current skills, as I mentioned, that's what's taking place, and you can do that as well, and that improves your neuroplasticity. And this, the piece of resistance, take naps, is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. So get plenty of rest. Get plenty of rest. Your brain needs rest. Imagine if you turned your car on in the morning and left it running for 24 hours, because that's what your brain is doing. Now you done went to sleep. You didn't cook dinner and everything else. My pleasure. And your car is still running because this is the engine, just running, CPU. the whole time. Even computers power down, right? The screens go dark, they go to sleep if you're not using it. So you want your brain to just keep functioning, keep functioning, keep functioning, keep functioning, keep functioning. Team no sleep. Team no sleep. That's what we do. We Red Bull. We gonna just do it. And your brain is like, what the hell? Stop. Sit your ass down. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. So rest. So practice, they call it sleep hygiene. So by developing a consistent sleep schedule and creating an environment that contributes to good sleep. So I have 1,000 count thread sheets. I have a mattress topper. I got firm pillows and I have a sleep mask. We turn the temperature down because you're supposed to sleep at a cooler temperature. So 10 degrees less when you're sleeping. So that creates this very sound sleep environment. And when I die, my daughter's going to keep my bed. So the point is this. You have to create a sleep environment. If you sleeping next to the wrong person, I say people that wake up angry, sleeping next to the wrong person. How you going to wake up mad? What you mad about? You sleeping next to the wrong person. That's what's causing the problem. So your sleep environment matters. If you need to listen to waterfalls to calm down, but if you up amped all day, and don't be taking no damn Ambien because that affects your fucking neural pathways too. You got to get your melatonin down, okay? The thing that you could do is a tea, but an hour to an hour and a half before you go to sleep, you start calming down for the day. So if you had a stressful day, old school, go get you a doggone notepad and a pen and write down all that shit that's in your head. Get it out of your head. And now go to sleep. Now, what's funny is I'm from the hood. So if I need to go to sleep and I'm having a tough time go to sleep, I got to throw some gangster stuff on. So I need to go So one time I was taking a nap and it was the St. Valentine's Day Massacre was on and I'm knocked out on the couch. My daughter is like, ma'am, you went to sleep. I'm like, what? So that's like a lullaby to me. I don't wake up ready to start nothing, but I just calmly go to sleep to that. So I told y'all, don't mess with me because problem. Anyway, a nice, calm, peaceful environment. You have to be able to give your brain rest. You would not leave your car running for 24 hours a day. Even if you had a Tesla, the battery would die, or electric vehicle. So you wouldn't do that. But you expect your brain to do all this and you ain't doing nothing to improve it or maintain it. And that's the problem. Okay? So what questions do you have before we go into our cognitive exercises, activities for the day? Oh, wait. One more. There's a couple more. Exercise regularly. So you need to exercise regularly. So some research indicates that exercise might help prevent neural loss in key areas of the hippocampus. And we talked about the hippocampus as it relates to memory. It has other functions. And other studies suggest that exercise plays a role in new neuron formation in some regions of the temporal lobe. So exercise is good for this because remember, this is where the amygdala is, the limbic system, the nervous system, the hippocampus, the thalamus, and the amygdala is right here sitting there operating together. And then finally, well, second to last, practice mindfulness. And you'll appreciate this, Regina, is be where your feet are. Your feet are not in the past. It's not in the future. So be where your feet are. Be in the surroundings that you are in. Now, why don't people want to be where their feet are? Because they don't like where they are. So they want to be somewhere else. But if you hold yourself personally accountable, you're going to like where you are. If you don't hold yourself personally accountable, you're not going to like where you are. So you're going to wish you were somewhere else. You're going to scroll on social media. You're going to veg out on screen time. You're going to play the video game because you don't like your existence. But you made decisions to get your ass in that situation. So you need to make better decisions to get your ass out of that situation. I don't want to be here. Okay, well, you need to make better decisions. You need to learn how to use your brain so that you can problem solve to get the fuck out of Loserville. That's how that works. And then the final thing is play. And if you read any of the fish philosophy books, one of the fish philosophies is play. So you can play board games, you can play card games, video games, and other games to improve your neuroplasticity. So I've taught my daughter how to play jacks. We play Uno, we play Tonk, we play Speed, and we go to the arcade, play air hockey. She finally is able to beat me in air hockey. We go bowling. She can't buck with me in bowling. But anyway, so play games because that's part of it. And again, that goes with the principle of real leadership of have fun. We are at an hour. If you need to leave, I understand. I do have the cognitive activities for the people who remain. Do you have any questions about neuroplasticity? Again, this live is going to be, it's recorded. And as soon as I'm done, it will be on my YouTube channel. So if you missed anything, feel free to watch it again instead of watching The Real Housewives or whatever. Um, and no cost. Right. Love Jax. Taught her when we were in Alabama, so 2008-9 time frame. Okay. Any questions for me regarding anything that I've covered? So the neuroplasticity matches what I was saying. I told you that you have the ability to change your mind, and now you have some new other information that confirms. Again, anything health related, go seek medical attention from your primary care physician. I am not a medical doctor. I am an educator, and learning about the brain is to enhance your ability to learn how to hold yourself personally accountable so that you can become your best. It's the most valuable resource that you have in your body. Take care of this, and it will take care of you. Yes, that is what it is. Exercise. So it goes under the category of how to improve your neuroplasticity. So it's how to improve it. So under everything under that was enrich your environment, stimulate your brain. That was the learning and all of that. So exercise is under how to improve your brain. Your neuroplasticity. You taught us that sleep helps your short-term memories. Yes. And sleep helps the brain because at that time, the brain is resting and is rejuvenating and getting you ready for the next thing. So think of your computer when your computer goes on sleep and then it wakes back up again. So if you never, ever give your brain rest, the brain is not going to rejuvenate itself. And that's why it can't function. So and then these energy drinks, and we found out for any of you who smoke this new weed, it's causing hallucinations and everything. They don't even know the long-term impact of it, but it's no bueno. And this vape, yes. And this vaping and all of that, it's coming up here. So you go ahead and use it if you want to. Don't get mad when your ass is 55 and you can't remember shit and can't do anything. So everybody talks about what's going in the body. Nobody talks about what it's doing to the mind. And then the other thing that it did discuss, and again, I said I was keeping it on learning, but you can also impact your neuroplasticity by the addictive things that people have. So Aristotle, all things in moderation and nothing in excess. Too much of anything is not a good thing, and to include money, because then you become greedy and then you start messing over people. Okay, so the cognitive activities, we're going to go ahead and do math. Yes, learning a new language and reading stimulates the brain. That is correct as well. So get to Duolingo or some other type of brain app or get a book. And this is here. My daughter gave this to me for my birthday. These are French lessons for me. That's what I was holding up because most people know I like to learn. Okay, so I'm gonna save this math problem for tomorrow for the sake of time. Put that on Wednesday. The math problem is this. We're gonna give you the math problem twice, and you have 60 seconds to solve the math problem. So the math problem is 4 times 8 minus 7 times 6. 4 times 8 minus 7 times 6. 1 minute on the clock. 4 times 8 minus 7 times 6. Thirty seconds has passed. $45 seconds has passed. And time. The answer is minus 10. So in order of operations, you have to do the 4 times 8 and then the 7 times 6. So 4 times 8 is 32. 7 times 6 is 42. And then you go in order. So 32 minus 42 is negative 10. The next is anagrams. Okay. And the anagram for today, you will have 30 seconds to create a new anagram. So the word for today is flow. FLOW, FLOW, turn it into an anagram. 30 seconds on the clock starting now. Flow. FLOW. "15 seconds has passed. And time. What do you have? My coffee is cold. Okay. All right. So yes, fowl and wolf. Fowl and wolf. And now it's riddle time. So everybody say, yay! Riddle time. It's riddle time. Hey, hey, riddle time. What? Riddle time. What? Riddle time. We ready? Riddle time. Okay. Let me reset my clock. You got 30 seconds for the riddle. What goes up but never comes down? What goes up but never comes down? 30 seconds on the clock. What goes up but never goes down? "15 seconds has passed. Yes, it is age. So give yourself a round of applause for those of you who got it. And yep, hot air, balloons, taxes. That's my child. Oh my goodness. Okay, so yes, the answer was age. And now we have the word of the day. And the word of the day is learn. 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 You're going to use the word of the day 5 times today. And the definition of learn that I will be using today is gain or acquire knowledge of or a skill in something by study, experience, or being taught. Gain or acquire knowledge of or skill in something by study, experience, or being taught. So you're going to learn something today. You're going to learn something today. Learn something today. Okay, if there's any, oh, and poll question results. Got it? Poll questions results. Do you have high standards? 69% of you said yes. 30% of you said no. 13 votes were cast. If you're still here, go ahead and explain your answer. And yes, I do have high standards. Like my heels, my standards are high. Been had high standards my whole entire life. Set and maintain high standards is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Part of the reason why that question is there is because the reason why you still have unaccountable people in your life is because you don't have high standards. And if you think about the Ivies, if you think about, in theory, the NFL or any prestigious anything, whether it's the top 1 or 2%, even if you're trying to get the black card, the American Express got black card, there's all these things that take place in order for you to be able to get those things. And so it's a high standard, and the standard is not lowered for anything. So if you don't have high standards, check the unaccountable people in your life, because your standards will go up as soon as they go away. Okay. Did y'all explain your answers for your high standards? I don't see them. Because I'm a big deal. Yes, that's from the PA challenge. That is correct. Congratulations is in order for Kevin. Kevin has finished his PA 30-day challenge today. So if you can do a hand clap or a thumbs up, hand clap, thumbs up. And Wolf is correct. Lola, the answer for the math question was 10. So 4 times 8 minus 7 times 6, you got 32 minus 42. That equals -10. Okay. Well, based off of the definition of 99% accountable people being in my life and 1% not being accountable, I still have work to do. Kevin gave himself a round of applause. I'm saying high standards creates best, so that's why I have them. Yes. So your objective. And growing up, people may or may not have told you that you can be the best. Not first, not win, but best. Best is different. Best is completely different and completely doable because it's something, it's your best. It's not compared to anybody else's, you versus you. So when I was in the 10th grade, I sucked at track, went back, lettered. My objective was to complete a whole track year, cross country cross country indoor and outdoor season, and I did that. And so for me, that was best. I lettered in cross country and the outdoor season, and I won a couple races. So for me, that was best because my 4 years in high school was spent in ROTC. So I was a bad mofo in ROTC. You wasn't about to come for me. That was my chosen path. But I needed to go back and do that for myself to finish what you start, but to also do my best at that. Okay. Yes. So Kevin, you got Matiko G gave you a bunch of stuff. Number 1, gold medals. I don't know if that's for me or for Kevin. Okay. So my point is this, ladies and gentlemen, setting and maintaining high standards is how you get surrounded by people that are personally accountable. My daughter's clientele is way super supreme than it was when she first started because she kept improving her skill set. As she increased her pricing, she improves her skill set as well. You can't be surrounded, for both of us. Okay, thank you. You can't be surrounded by champions. You can't. You don't see eagles sitting in a parking lot with a bunch of pigeons. Like, hey man, what's up? Hey, also somebody threw y'all some breadcrumbs. All right, bet. How you eat this? Damn, it's not happening. It's definitely not taking place at all. So you do not. Unaccountable people have you programmed for you to think that you need them in your life. You don't. You will be fine without them. You will be just fine, 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 fine. Ooh, you will be fine. You'll be better off. You'll actually be your best when you send them back with the rest. That's how that happens. So you definitely are going to improve exponentially when you get them away from you. So do not let them keep you stuck up and through here. Like I told y'all, you can't see nothing. All you can do is look down. But over here, you can see everything. You can look up, you can look forward, you can look left and right. Now this is you just going to be looking down. That's how that goes. All right, so thank you so very much for this. Remember to use the word, I was about to say love. Learn 5 times today and learn something today. And it is your expectation that when you wake up, you go to sleep wiser than when you woke up. That's the objective every single day. Neuroplasticity allows you to learn. Doesn't matter how old you are. My aunt went back to school. My great aunt went back to school at 75 to get her master's degree. So the brain is still braining, and it wants you to do that. Take care of your mind. Create a very serene sleep environment because that is how your brain regroups, and your brain wants rest so that it can be its best for you. But if you don't give it what it needs, don't be mad when it doesn't give you what you need. That's how it goes. Garbage in, garbage out. All right, anything else for me before we get out of here as we go and put these garage shelves together and up? Champion is a real word. Is it? It might be. That I don't know, because I will make up a word. Yes. I used to say champion at first. I used to say champion, and then I transitioned to loser. So some of my earlier videos talk about being a champion. I even think I got a viral video of on TikTok of it. And that my most viral video on TikTok is the only place a loser is coming in first is at the Loser Olympics. Yes. So yes, the only place a loser is coming in first is at the Loser Olympics. So do not feel bad because now this is empowering for you, because now that even with my daughter having ADD and ADHD, y'all see her, she's high functioning, no meds. Don't let people use these things as an excuse for not using their brain. You say, just come on over to Dr. Donna's Live and you can be personally accountable too. You can get in the challenge too. So this whole excuse line that they have, yes, you have a great day too, Regina. This whole excuse line that they have doesn't bode well. So now you can stay in your frontal lobe and say, sounds like an excuse to me. Sounds like some bullshit and some nonsense. So yeah, I'm good on that. Don't let them keep you trapped. Come over here. You all go off and have a great rest of your day. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place, different t-shirt. Take care of yourselves. Adios.